As I mentioned in a recent product reveal, I briefly discussed how I was going to be fitting the LED light bar on my Forester. This is the product I've chosen. It's from STEDI Australia. It's the 14-inch LED light bar with a bank of 4 fog, 16 spot and 4 fog. So that's a total of 8 fog modules and 16 spotlight modules. The reach of the spotlight is probably out to about 500 meters, but sort of diminishing the further it goes out, and it's probably more effective within that 200 to 250 meter range. So the spotlight is 5.8 degrees and the floodlight beam is 50 degrees. So that's a bit of an all-round application for myself. So I could use these brackets to mount my light bar, but I decided to go for the STEDI vice clamp, which will go onto my nudge bar. These are available in different tubes sizes, so you can get the correct size to suit the bull bar or nudge bar that you have and the tube size. Next we have the wiring harness. This included in the price is the wiring harness, switch, relay and all the connectors, of course. So this might be all you need to wire your light bar. I'm going for a different switch because I want to standardise on this rocket type switch, and I'll have a series of these basically mounted in the centre, just above the console. And so I won't use the original switch supplied in the harness, but you can if you wanted to. Also cable ties, because there'll be harnesses to tidy up and secure, and more connectors. These are waterproof connectors, so they'll be suitable for all weather conditions. And of course the light bar itself. As I mentioned earlier, there's 4 floodlight modules on the side and 4 on the opposite side, with 16 driving lights or spotlight modules in the centre. It's aluminium, extruded aluminium construction, some fins on the back for cooling. I'm going to start the installation of the LED light bar now, but I've made an executive decision. I'm going to install the LED light bar and the UHF radio at the same time. Might save me time in the long run. Just means you get bonus material in the one episode. So episode 10, as I think we're up to, will be the LED light bar and the UHF radio install. So let's make a start. I'm just going to mount the brackets loosely for the moment so I can adjust the position, because obviously the LED light bar fits in between the 2 brackets. There's a recess on one side, so that's where the fastener would go through, and that would allow the head to be recessed and not protruding. So that is basically how it would go. Get the screws ready, just drop them in. Put the other rubber strip on the other half of the bracket, line them up, get the correct size Allen key, it's a good idea to do these up evenly, so you do both sides up. I have both brackets mounted in the general position for the light, which will fit like so. With mounting the light bar, you're provided also with these threaded studs. There is an Allen key insert for one end, so you just thread the insert into the end of the light unit, and it's the same size as one of the provided Allen keys, so you just screw that in. Same with the other side. Like so. So that leaves you with the stud on either side, which I can then put into the brackets, just sliding them or one of them across. If the rubber falls out, don't worry too much about that, you can reinsert later. You're also provided with stainless steel flat washers and nylock nuts. So first put the washer on, then a nylock. And of course I'll have to adjust the light unit later on the road in the dark. I also need to keep my number plate visible, so I've just raised the light bar slightly. I've left a gap between the nudge bar and the light bar. That's pretty much where I want the light bar to be, central to the grille, above the number plate. I've locked up the fasteners. I'm just locking up the grub screws. That just locks it in place and stops it from pivoting up and down, and later I'll adjust for correct illumination on the road, etc. So that's in place. I'll put the UHF antenna in place now. So I'm just going to place the spring base in the nudge bar antenna mount. Okay, that's tightened up. I need to consider which is the best path to run the cables for the lighting and the radio, and I'm thinking I'm going to go through the lower grill spacing there and start finding a way to run the cables from basically the nudge bar through into the front passenger side. Okay, let's play a little bit of catch up. What I've done is I've taken the battery out because I want to be able to get access to pass cables behind the battery, behind the lighting, through the radiator, through the front grille I should say. But I didn't want to go through all the hassle of the idle relearning, so I've actually installed a small auxiliary 12 volt battery. I'm just running that to the positive terminal on my alternator. Hopefully you can see that. And back to earth. I'm going to attempt to run the cables and the antenna coax through that opening through the panel and along the left hand fender into the driver's passenger side, or the passenger side behind the glove box. Okay, I've got both the coax and the LED light harness together. I'm going to, I've got it taped to the wire, the fencing wire that I'm going to use to pull it through into the engine bay. So hopefully I can do this without losing any ends and having to restart the process. So let's slowly push that through.